Martha Sleeper, June 24, 1910 – March 25, 1983, was a film actress of the 1920s–1930s and, later, a Broadway stage actress. She studied dancing for 5 years with Russian ballet master Louis H. Chalif at his New York dancing studio. Her first public exhibitions were at Carnegie Hall at his class exhibitions. Family. Martha Sleeper reputedly spent her first years on a sheep ranch in Wyoming. Her father, William B. Sleeper, was an official of the Keith Ilby Orpheum Vaudeville circuit in New York City. Her uncle was John J. Murdoch, head of Cow and one of the most powerful men in the business. He would have a major impact on her career. Her mother was Minnie Ackes. Her father retired to Los Angeles, California in 1923 due to ill health. Martha was under contract to Hal Roach Studios beginning in 1924. When she was 14 years old, her father was found dead of heart disease on September 1, 1925, in bed at his home. Martha, then 15 years old, with her mother and sister, were away, having taken a short trip to New York City. Film career. Sleeper's film career began in 1923 and continued until 1945. Her first screen appearance, at the age of 13, was in The Mailman, 1923, an independent production. After appearing in several kiddie comedies at the Christie Studio, she was signed by the Hal Roach Studio for the Our Gang series, but she quickly outgrew that role. From 1925 to 27, she appeared in comedies playing opposite the studio's most popular male stars. She left the Roach Studio in late 1927 and moved to the FBO Studio, where she starred in 6 silent features during 1928–29. With the coming of sound, she was signed by MGM and placed in their training program. From 1930 to 1936, she played supporting roles in many melodramas, her role typically that of a well-bred, somewhat snobbish society woman who ends up losing her man to the film's leading lady. Frustrated by the types of roles she was being offered, Martha began playing on stage in and about Los Angeles, at one point drawing raves as Eliza Doolittle in a performance of Pygmalion in 1932. After appearing in some low-budget melodramas for the Poverty Row Monogram Studio, Martha and her husband, actor Hardy Albright, left Hollywood for New York in 1936, where Martha began a long run in both on and off-Broadway plays. In 1945, as a favor to director Leo McCarey, Martha played the role of Patsy's mother in The Bells of St. Mary's. It was her last screen role. Business career. In 1945, Sleeper was featured in The Rugged Path, a play that starred Spencer Tracy in his only Broadway stage role. In New York, she turned a hobby into a thriving business, finding herself at the forefront of a fashion craze for gadget jewelry in the late 1930s. In 1949, she and her second husband were on an extended cruise in the Caribbean. Her destination was the Virgin Islands and a vacation with her husband. However, when she reached Puerto Rico, she fell in love with the island. Terminating the cruise, Martha and her husband took up permanent residence in San Juan. Looking for a new challenge, and no longer interested in jewelry design, she reinvented herself one more time and began designing women's clothing and resort wear. She had her designs manufactured locally and sold them through a boutique that she established in a 300-year-old building in Old Town San Juan. She won many awards and commissions from large corporations for unique designs. She operated this business from 1950 until her retirement in 1969. In 1969, married her third husband and left San Juan for Beaufort, South Carolina, where she spent her remaining years. Death. Martha Sleeper died of a heart attack, aged 72, in Beaufort, South Carolina, where she had lived with her third husband, Col. Howard C. Stelling, who survived her. She had no children. Former discrepancies re Martha Sleeper's year of birth. Many sources had cited 1907 as Sleeper's year of birth, but she was actually born shortly after the 1910 census was taken in April 1910. Martha's true date of birth is June 24, 1910, as verified by a copy of her birth certificate. No Martha Sleeper appears in the 1910 census records. However, a Martha Sleeper is listed as 9 years old in the 1920 census, April 1920, and 19 years old in the 1930 census, April 1930. An airline passenger list. Flight CBA 611 from St. Martin to Charlotte, Amalia, VI, on 10 September 1962. Gives a birth date of June 24, 1910. In Illinois. Ancestry.com. AUK. Incoming passenger list. Ancestry.com. For the RMS Queen Elizabeth. From New York to Southampton. Arriving the 19th of August 1958. Gives a birth date of 24.6.10. The Social Security Death Index records the date of birth of a Martha Stelling, Sleeper's third husband's surname, who died in March 1983 in Beaufort County, South Carolina as June 24, 1910. Sleeper's 1983 New York Times obituary, as well, was titled, "Martha Sleeper is dead at 72. Quote, filmography, bibliography, Hayward Daily Review. Silent film Dream Gal found in Puerto Rico. May 27, 1955. Page 24. Los Angeles Times. Her youth no bar to mature roles. May 10, 1925. Page 18. Los Angeles Times. Keith Orpheum, former official, succumbs here. September 2, 1925. Page A3. Los Angeles Times. Here and There. October 29, 1926. Page A8. Oakland Tribune. Comedienne writes. Sunday. October 31, 1926. P. W3.